Putin is held hostage by a terrorist. A Russian truck driver stops at the back of a long queue on the motorway. He sees a policeman walking down the line of stopped cars to briefly talk to the drivers. As the policeman approaches the truck driver rolls down his window and asks, "What's going on?" The police officer says, "A terrorist is holding Putin hostage in a car. He's demanding 10 million rubles or he'll douse Putin in petrol and set him on fire. So we're asking drivers for donations." The driver said, "Oh, okay. How much do people donate on average?" The police officer says, "About a gallon." A bear and a rabbit is taking a dump in the woods. The bear turns to the rabbit and asks, "Excuse me, do you have a problem getting poop on your fur?" The rabbit replies, "Of course not." The bear picks up the rabbit and wipes his butt with it. While visiting Jerusalem, my persistent wife unexpectedly passed away. The funeral director presented me with two options. "Sir, sending her remains back to the States would cost around $45,000. Alternatively, a burial here in Jerusalem would be just $500. I hesitated for a moment before replying, "I'll have her sent home." Curiously, the director asked, "Why not choose the more economical option and lay her to rest here?" I replied with a smirk, "Remember, a man was buried here once, and he managed to come back to life after 3 days. I can't take that chance." A wife and husband have a recurring morning routine where the husband unleashes loud farts, much to the irritation of his wife. Tired of the ongoing situation, the wife decides to play a prank to teach him a lesson. She buys a chicken, removes its innards, and places them strategically in the bed while her husband is still asleep. The next morning, the husband lets out his usual morning flatulence, but this time he screams in shock. The wife, downstairs waiting, hears the commotion and can't help but chuckle. As she climbs the stairs, she finds her husband running out of the room, convinced that he had indeed farted his intestines out. With a mischievous grin, she's about to reveal the prank when her husband, with a surprising twist, proudly declares, "Well, by the grace of God, with these 2 fingers, I was able to push him back in." 3 men find themselves stranded on a desert island and are eventually discovered by tribesmen. Taken to the tribal hut, the chief instructs them, venture into the jungle and bring back 10 pieces of fruit each. The first man returns with 10 apples, and the chief issues an unusual challenge. Now insert them all into your rear without displaying any emotion or die. Despite excruciating pain, the first man successfully complies with a stoic expression. However, a slight flinch during the insertion of the second apple leads to his execution. The second man, armed with 10 cherries, takes on the same challenge. Progressing steadily, he manages well until the 8th cherry, at which point uncontrollable laughter erupts, leading to his untimely demise. In heaven, he reunites with the first man, who inquires, "Why did you laugh?" The second man responds, "Well, I was nearly done when I spotted the next guy approaching with pineapples." 3 individuals passed away and found themselves at the entrance of heaven. St. Peter greeted them, announcing, "The level of loyalty you displayed to your spouse will determine the mode of transport you receive in heaven." Approaching the gate, the first man declared, "I remained faithful to my wife. She was my soulmate, and I cherished her every day." St. Peter beamed and presented him with the keys to a gleaming new Ferrari. The second man hesitated before admitting, "I betrayed my wife on one occasion. It haunts me as my greatest mistake, and my love for her remains." After a thoughtful pause, St. Peter assigned him a recent model Honda Civic. Lastly, the third man proclaimed, "I indulged in countless affairs. Every weekend I found myself with a different woman, never once loyal to my wife." St. Peter assessed him for a moment and then handed him a bicycle. The following day, the man on the bicycle noticed the man with the Ferrari parked on the side of the road, his face buried in his hands, clearly crying. Curious, the cyclist approached him and asked, "Why are you so upset when you have such a nice ride?" The Ferrari owner lifted his tear-filled eyes and replied, "Because I just saw my wife skating by on roller skates." The teacher hands out candies to her students, asking them to identify the flavors based on their colors and tastes. The children quickly called out, "Red signifies cherry, yellow is indicative of pineapple, green corresponds to watermelon, and orange represents orange." The teacher gives honey-flavored lifesavers to the class. However, to the teacher's amusement, none of the students can pinpoint the exact taste. Trying to provide a hint, the teacher says, "Think of what your mother might occasionally call your father." A young girl's eyes widen in shock. She quickly spits out her lifesaver and screams, "Oh my God, they're assholes!" A bus carrying a group of ugly people swerved into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a truck. Upon their passing, God offered each of them a single wish. The first individual eagerly expressed, "I wish to be beautiful." With a gesture from God, her wish was granted. The next person echoed the same wish, and their appearance transformed as well. The same wish was repeated down the line. However, as God approached the final person in the queue, he noticed this individual was laughing uncontrollably. As the line progressed and God neared the end, this man was nearly rolling on the floor with laughter. When God finally reached him, expecting to hear a wish, the truck driver chuckled and said, "I wish they were all ugly again." An American couple is on a road trip through Canada and pulls into a gas station to refuel. While the man heads inside to settle the bill, his wife shouts after him, "Find out where we are." Upon entering, the husband completes the payment and inquires, "By the way, where exactly are we?" The attendant responds, "Saskatoon, Saskatchewan." Returning to the car, the wife eagerly asks, "So where are we?" "He didn't speak English," replied the husband. A woman carrying her infant boards a bus. The driver remarks, "That's one ugly-looking baby." Though taken aback, the woman remains silent. Observing her distress, another passenger asks her what's wrong. The woman replies, "The bus driver was incredibly insensitive and rude." The passenger encourages her, "What? You go right back and give the driver a piece of your mind. Here, I'll hold your monkey." While strolling along a California beach, a man stumbled upon an Arabian lamp. Brushing off the sand, a genie emerged, looking rather irritated. "This is the third disturbance this week. Instead of 3 wishes, you get just 1. Make it count." The man pondered and replied, "I've always dreamt of going to Hawaii, but I'm seasick and scared of flying. I wish that you would build me a bridge so that I can drive over." The genie scoffed, "You've got to be out of your mind. Think about the logistics. All of the steel that would have to be sunk into the ocean and all of the asphalt. That's too hard. Think of something else." The man tries another wish. "In my 3 failed marriages, they always claimed I never understood them. I wish to truly understand women, to know their thoughts even in silence." The genie quickly interjected, "Stop right there. About that bridge, do you prefer 2 lanes or 4? An elderly woman visits her doctor for a routine checkup. The doctor asks if she has any health concerns. The woman replies, "Doctor, I have a rather embarrassing issue. I fart all the time. The odd thing is, they're silent and odorless. I've actually farted twice since you entered the room, but I'm sure you didn't notice." The doctor gives her an examination and says, "I can treat this problem with an over-the-counter medication, a prescription and a referral. To address this, I recommend an over-the-counter drug to reduce gas production. The prescription medication will help you recover your sense of smell. I am also giving you a referral to an audiologist to see if they can help you with your hearing." Please like, subscribe, and share our content. Check out our channel for more fun.